Hi there. So there's this thing I really like to do. It's kind of a passion of mine. It's scrubbing mold. Um, it's actually not scrubbing mold. It's being able to have fun while scrubbing mold. A few weeks ago, some folks and I went out to Staten Island to help with Hurricane Sandy cleanup, and I really don't like scrubbing mold at all. It's gross. We wore hazmat suits and respirators, and we were sweating in 50-degree weather. It was tough work, but what was really nice about it was attitudes. The attitudes of our team were impeccable. We had smiles, and there was joviality throughout the entire day. That thing that I really enjoy doing, it's volunteering. It satisfies all those needs for helping others and for keeping busy, for tasking and learning. Right now, for instance, I have this opportunity as president of NYU and NYU Poly's Engineers Without Borders chapter. Um, Engineers Without Borders, or EWB for short, it's an international organization of student and professional volunteers working on all sorts of projects, from Columbia's building bridges to our own chapter, who's working on some water projects. Um, and yeah, we're doing some really fun stuff. But as any student leader or as the participant of any organization or cause is interested to know, how do we garner support from those that are interested in giving? How do we instill a sustainable service mindset? Um, well, our chapter has seen this problem of project sustainability, and we've tried to craft the solution by making things fun. It's a really simple but powerful idea. You can't tell people what to want, but you can cultivate what they enjoy. So we've taken this idea and tried to make our chapter into a pilot which cultivates lifetime volunteerism. So let's expand that idea a little bit by asking ourselves a few questions. What is volunteering? Who does it? And where does it come from? So volunteering has a few basic associations, like cooking for the less privileged, or coastal cleanups, or working in old folks' homes. I think most of us have had volunteering experiences. Who volunteers? Our chapter is mostly comprised of poly students and others. Actually, yeah, so nationally, about 65 million people in the US volunteered last year. That means at least 1 in 5 of us in this room volunteered, and we have at least one of 100. Anybody else volunteer last year? I know several others over here. Excellent. So the faces of volunteers are very diverse. Where does volunteering come from? Well, it's going to be a largely personal story for everyone. I started volunteering in my mother's church. She would keep us around after hours, and we would cook and clean and meet all sorts of weird people. But that turned into tutoring, which led towards mentoring. And after I left home, I found myself in all sorts of weird organizations, from cycling to environmental cleanups to lots of art organizations. The point is, I found time in volunteering through the things I was interested in, but especially because I had great experiences all along the way. So we have the what and the who and the where. How is our chapter dealing with this problem of project sustainability? Well, let's ask ourselves a few more questions. Who are we helping? And how are we helping ourselves? Well, we are working in a small town called Perquin in El Salvador. It's situated just off the Ecuadorian border in this beautiful range of mountains. Our community of about 70 homes is situated on this hill, and they lack access to proper wastewater disposal. And that means that there's 2 types of gray water. So we have gray water, which is refuse from cooking and cleaning and bathing, and after treatment, it can be recycled or reused. But black water, on the other hand, black water has fecal content and urine, and after treatment, it's generally disposed of. In Perquin, however, all types of water are sent to a septic tank, which is local to each home. Now, in the rainy season, this causes problems because of ground seepage. Now, normally, the size of systems can hold both types of water. But during this rainy season, what's actually called Mal de Mayo, black water seeps through these systems and is literally coursing down these hills, and in our case, right past schools. So our system is going to be a large septic tank situated at the bottom of the hill, where the gray water from each home is diverted to, and it's going to be supplemented by a large series of beds with gravel in them, and it's going to be a very large, pure system, like pure, remember refrigerator, charcoal, something like that. It's a very similar idea. So 70 homes, that's potentially positively impacting the lives, the health of hundreds of people. That's a really big deal, especially for volunteers. Helping others is this great innate thing we can sell to folks about our chapter and about Engineers Without Borders. But how else can we help ourselves? What else are we getting out of this? Well, dealing with poop is definitely tricky. It's hard to get people on board with poop. And sometimes we do juggle machetes or we don't juggle machetes, or whatever we do or do not do with machetes. We have all sorts of tangible benefits. Me, for instance, I studied art history in San Francisco for a while and worked in the arts. And a year into my studies in mechanical engineering, I'm leading an engineering project, a big engineering project. That's crazy and very cool, and I'm very stoked about that. But on the technical side of things, we have project management skills from coordinating local labor and materials and installation. We have these giant projects, or these giant reports that are submitted for every project and after every project, giant semester-long and team-wide reports. We are calculating water flow, and we are calculating the sizes of load-bearing walls, tons of civil calculations. On the non-technical side of things, we are fundraising and chapter building. We are organizing meetings and minutes. We are also here at home, or here at NYU and in New York City, we're also mentoring high school students. And we are, again, volunteering in Staten Island. And we're also having fun and hanging out, literally at Brooklyn Boulders, and organizing family dinners. So essentially, we're trying to learn what's required of keeping a little family together on a big task. One lesson we've learned, one issue we've had, I guess, one issue that we've been addressing the most, is diversification. So our projects last 5 years minimum. That means that between graduating classes, there's going to be some kind of handoff. Well, our chapter ran into a bit of a slump between graduating classes, and we were forced to go on a reassessment trip to reestablish contact with the community, etc. It actually turned out to be kind of fortuitous because our community grew. But we did learn that we do need to up our ranks. We need to get more interest, and we need to be able to sell the benefits of our chapter and its project a little bit more. In project, we had a few simple goals on our last trip. We had to take water samples. We had to reestablish contact with the community. We had to draft a community agreement and some other things. And while we accomplished most of these goals, we got a little waylaid by drafting this community agreement. So in essence, we're kind of building a little utility in Perkeen. It's going to require maintenance, which will require a bit of taxation. And we wanted everything to be rock solid for this community agreement. But in hindsight, our energies shifted far too much to that. If we had had some help from more non-technical minds, like a law student or a sociology major, for instance, we could have better diverted our energies into other tasks. So we have this volunteering thing, and the what, and the who and the how. Let's talk about the why. So one of the major markers for success Engineers Without Borders USA, our parent organization, holds for any project is sustainability. And that's sustainability in general. So keeping a project alive and thriving for a long time. We're in Perkeen because of unhealthy water conditions. So we're going to clean water. We're going to improve the health of the land and its residents over time. We are going to teach the residents of Perkeen to successfully maintain the system over time. And our own team will learn and grow in the process. But there's one more, and it's a big one. Our project can act as a pilot. We have the potential to instill new indigenous knowledge here. If widely adopted, these types of systems can drastically improve the quality of the land and its inhabitants over time. So let's step back and go to the bigger picture. On the one hand, we have this idea of sustainability, this marker of success for our project being its ability to act as a pilot. And on the other hand, one of the goals of our chapter is to instill the sustainable service mindset. Why don't we draw that parallel and make our chapter into a pilot which prepares, fosters, and cultivates a lifetime of volunteering? Now, how can you take this idea and use it to your own cause? It's really simple. Make things fun. Make everything you have fun. It's such a simple but powerful idea. Do you have friends that you'd like to hang out with you more? Make their experiences positive. Do you have employees or do you have workers on any task? Make those projects fun. Keep those tasks, keep their experiences in mind, and make sure that you're positively impacting their work. Yeah, I'm so lucky to have this opportunity with NYU and with Engineers Without Borders. And I'd like to invite each and every one of you to find a little bliss in better service.